Very good evening, dear students. Hope you all are fine. So, in this video series of AECC1 Environment Study and Disaster Management, I have covered one video in which we have discussed about the fundamentals of environment, in which we discussed about what do we mean by environment, what is atmosphere, then lithosphere, then your hydrosphere and biosphere. Okay, and today we will discuss what do we mean by energy flow and how it flows in the ecosystem. Okay, so this is the second video of this lecture series. So let us discuss what is energy flow. So before going to discuss it elaborately, we at least should know some fundamental things regarding energy, then ecosystem. What do we mean by ecosystem? So in our first class, we have already discussed about the definition of environment, isn't it? And its component. So environment means we know that everything surround us is known as environment. So it is derived one Greek word environ, and it comprises of biotic component and abiotic components. And ecology means, what do we mean by ecology? Ecology means it is derived from two Greek words, one is oikos and another is logos. So oikos means home, or we can say habitat, and logos means to discuss. So ecology means in this branch we discuss about the entire characteristic features, structures of the habitat of a species where the species live. Then what do we mean by ecosystem? So ecosystem means a system which has some structure and functional aspects, which is created by the interaction between the abiotic and biotic components. And we have different ecosystems around us. For example, natural ecosystem, man-made, or we can call it as anthropogenic ecosystem. So natural ecosystem means the system which exists in the environment automatically. Okay. ସାର୍ ନମସ୍କାର, ମୁଁ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ଆଉ ଟିକେ ପରେ କଲ୍ କରିବି, ମୁଁ ଏବେ ଗୋଟେ ମିଟିଂରେ ଅଛି ତ ଏପଟେ। ଆଜ୍ଞା 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 ଆଜ୍ଞା। Okay, so sorry for interruption. So ecosystem means the system where there are some structure and particular function. So we have different types of ecosystems, like your natural ecosystem and man-made ecosystem. So natural ecosystem means the ecosystem those are present naturally or in the nature. For example, your you can say grassland, you can say your river ecosystem, pond ecosystem, anything you watch around you, the system is known as natural ecosystem. What is anthropogenic or man-made ecosystem? Anthropogenic or man-made ecosystem is the system which is particularly made by the human being. For example, we can say agricultural field, that means crop field. Okay. So this is ecosystem. Another type of classification of ecosystem is your terrestrial ecosystem and your aquatic ecosystem. What do we mean by that? So terrestrial means each ecosystem those are present over the land surface or earth surface, means on the land, on the soil. For example, we can say forest ecosystem, grassland ecosystem, then any type of your tundra ecosystem, desert ecosystem. Okay, so these are all examples of your terrestrial ecosystem. Then there are also some ecosystem where water is the dominant factor. Okay, so those type of ecosystem is known as aquatic ecosystem. For example, your river ecosystem, pond ecosystem, water ecosystem. Okay, so these ecosystems are of two types. Okay, for example, lotic ecosystem, lentic ecosystem means for example you will take the river ecosystem, another one is pond ecosystem. Can you see any difference? Yes, in river the water is flowing, that is not stagnant. It is always flowing from upper surface towards the lower surface. Though those type of ecosystem, aquatic ecosystems are known as your lotic ecosystem, and the ecosystem where the water is stagnant. Okay, means those are in between the or covered by four walls or four boundary walls. For example, your pond, okay, water is stagnant, so those type of water bodies are known as your lentic water or aquatic ecosystem. Okay, so you have got one clear cut idea regarding the ecosystem. Now come to know about the energy, because because I will. Hello dear, कौन करुचु? ओहो, अच्छा सुन, मु तते टिके अध घंटे पर कॉल करिवि कि? हाँ, कहीं कहलु गोटे वीडियो शूटिंग करुची तो तेणु कर माने क्लास टा माने ए जो ऑनलाइन रे क्लास टा शूटिंग करुची तो बुझी पारछु, रेकॉर्डिंग करुची। हां, मु तते करुची तो टिके प्लीज 9 टा बेले उठेइबो हैला। ओके ओके, हाँ हाँ ठीक अछि, हाँ हाँ बाय बाय। Okay, okay guys, so now we will discuss energy. So then we will see how the energy flow in the ecosystem. So what is energy? So you see here, energy defines differently in different subjects. So for example, in physics, energy is the capacity for doing work. It may exist in potential, kinetic, thermal, electrical, chemical, nuclear or other various forms. Okay, so energy has its different various forms. There are moreover heat and work, that is energy in the process of transfer from one body to another. Okay, so energy always transfer from one process to another process. After it has been transferred, energy is always designated according to its nature. Okay, so we have different types of energy, and energy, simply we can define energy as capacity of doing work. For example, suppose someone is working, someone is doing some work, then how it is possible? It is due to the presence of calorie inside his or her body, isn't it? So that is possible to only due to the presence of energy in our body. Okay, so we can define energy as capacity of doing work, and these energy are of different types. For example, mechanical, electromagnetic, electrical, chemical, thermal. Okay, so you see, what do we mean by mechanical energy? So energy due to a object's motion, that is kinetic, and your in static position, the energy lies in between that body is known as potential energy. Okay, so mechanical energy are of two types. One is kinetic energy, another is potential energy. So the suppose, for example, the here you see in the picture, this picture, okay, and up to that time the ball in static position is known as its potential energy, but when the ball moves and strikes all those bars, okay, it falls, at that time it is known as kinetic energy. Means energy possessed in a moving body is known as kinetic energy. Okay, so then what is your electrical energy? Electrical energy means energy caused by the movement of electrons, easily transported through power lines and converted into other forms of energy, for which our fans, lights, they are working in our home. Okay, you see here, these are the electrical energy transformers, the 11 kV line. Okay, so next is your electromagnetic energy, for which you are using the mobile phones. So mobile phone is operated, microwave is operated, and then you have x-rays, you have ultraviolet rays, you have visible light. So all these are operating due to the you can see here in the mobile. So how it works? It works by capturing the radio wave or electromagnetic energy. Then you see chemical energy, energy that is available for release from chemical reaction. Okay, chemical reaction, here you see when we ignite a matchstick, that is possible due to the chemical energy. Okay, so these are the different forms of energy. So now I have already explained this, that what is ecology, what is ecosystem, types of ecosystem. Okay, so this ecosystem term was derived by your A.G. Tansley, okay, in the year 1935. And this ecology, what I told, that it is derived from oikos and logos, is defined by your biologist Haeckel in the year 1869. Okay, so next come to your energy flow. Okay, up to this point you have already clear regarding what is energy, what is ecosystem, types of ecosystem, who discovered the word ecosystem, and what is the difference between environment, ecology and environment. Okay, so if you have any doubt in any term or understanding any thing, then you can comment me, I will clarify your doubts. Okay, so energy flow, as this term indicates, energy flow means the energy is flowing. Where it is flowing? Inside the ecosystem. So inside the ecosystem, I have already told you in the biosphere, when I was in the first class, that biosphere means it consists of three things. One is producer, consumer and decomposers. Okay, so energy flow along with the food materials, from producer to consumer to decomposers. Okay, in this way. So and sun is known as the ultimate source of energy. Okay, so from the sun the energy come to the earth surface, and the plant has the capacity to fix, here you see, so the plant has the capacity to fix the sunlight. Okay, and they will take the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, and with the help of water they will produce C6H12O6, that means your glucose and oxygen will be liberated to the atmosphere. Okay, this is the term known as photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is a chemical process by the plants. Okay, they can or the autotrophs, they can produce the carbohydrate foods by the help of your chlorophyll pigments, with the help of carbon dioxide, then water. Okay, in the presence of sunlight, and the material that will be produced is glucose, and oxygen, a byproduct, will be released to the atmosphere. Then this process is known as photosynthesis. Another process is there, that is known as chemosynthesis, and that is performed by bacteria, which use chemical energy to produce carbohydrates. Okay, so this is the main theme of your energy flow. Means energy comes from the sun, and after coming from the sun, some amount of your heat energy is absorbed by the atmosphere, that dust particles, clouds. Okay, and some amount comes to the earth surface. Look here, Okay, in this figure you can see incoming solar radiation. If it is 100%, okay, then 7% is scattered to space. Again it is radiating back, not coming to the earth surface. Okay, then reflected by clouds 17%, and reflected by the surface means, for example, you are throwing some ball to the surface and it is rebounding and going back. Similarly, radiation is also coming to the earth surface and it scatters or reflected back to the atmosphere, that is 6%. Okay, so some amount is absorbed by your clouds, dust particles, water vapors. So after all these things, 47% is coming to the earth surface, which is available for your land, ocean and trees. Okay, so here you look. So trophic levels, that is known as trophic level. Trophic level mean from this trop means light. Okay, so from sun your light is coming, then it is fixed in the level 1, that is known as trophic level 1. Those are the producers, or they are also known as autotrophs. Then trophic level 2 is your primary consumer. Primary consumers are also known as herbivores. So primary consumer means those directly eat the producers. For example, we can say in one grassland ecosystem, your grasshopper eats the grasses. They are known as your primary consumers or herbivores. Okay, then who will eat your primary consumer is known as secondary consumers. Okay, so secondary consumers are known as carnivores, or some are also omnivores, means they can eat both. So then level 4 or trophic level 4 is your tertiary consumers. So they are known as top carnivores, or they are purely carnivores. In this way your different trophic levels are there. So if up to this you have properly understand, then there will be no problem to understand what do we mean by energy flow in the ecosystem, or how it flows. Okay guys, so you see here that, here you see I have already explained you regarding terrestrial ecosystem. Okay, here you see terrestrial ecosystem, and in the right side where you see the fish, and your aquatic animals, they are one aquatic ecosystem. Aquatic ecosystem means I told you that ecosystem based on water bodies. Okay, so here in the left side, plant, herbivores, carnivores, these are example of one terrestrial ecosystem. Okay, so you see how the animals, plants creates one relationship between them. Who eats whom, means that is a relationship between the eating and being eaten process. Okay, so you see here where my cursor is moving. So plant is eaten by grasshopper. Okay, then grasshopper is eaten by carnivore. Okay, means who is eating the grasshopper? Here a mouse is eating. Okay, so then mouse is eaten by your snake, and in the top snake is eaten by your eagle. Okay, this is a common example of food and feeding habit of your terrestrial ecosystem. So here in the right side you see phytoplanktons, means the small particles. Those are moving on the, or floating on the upper surface of the water bodies. Phytoplanktons means they are very tiny plants. Okay, then these phytoplanktons will be eaten by zooplanktons. Zooplankton means small tadpole larva like structure. Those are floating on the water surface. Okay, then those will be eaten by small fishes. Okay, then small fishes will be eaten by your big fishes, and big fishes will be eaten by your more big fishes. Okay, so this is one example of your food chain, or the your how the food passes from plants towards your consumers or top consumers. Okay, now you see what do we mean by energy flow. So energy, from where it get energy? We get energy from food. Okay, so in the producer level, that is the lowermost trophic level, or we can call it as trophic level 1, the entire, see here, the entire energy coming from the light, suppose 1 lakh joule. Okay. So this amount of sunlight will pass to the primary producer or plants. So here you see only 10,000 joule of energy from the sunlight is passing to the primary producers. Okay, then from 10,000 joule, only 1,000 joule is energy is passing to the next level, means primary consumer. Okay, those are known as secondary trophic level. And you see from 1000 joule, only 100 joule is passing to the next trophic level, means secondary consumer. Then from secondary consumer, the food is going to the tertiary consumer. So how much energy is passing to the next level? That means tertiary consumer, only 10 joule. Okay, so see here, can you say any relation between this? First one is 1 lakh, then 10,000, then 1,000, then 100, then 10 joule of energy. Okay, means from starting up to your end, it reaches only 10 joule. Means we can say here that from one trophic level to the next trophic level, only 10% of the previous energy stored is passes. Okay, means a great amount is lost on the way in the form of heat. Okay, could you get my point? So this is known as the 10% rule. 10% rule. Okay, or we can call it as 10% law of energy flow. So what do you mean by that? Means suppose in the producer level you have 10,000 joule energy. Okay, stored energy. So when primary consumer will eat the your producer, then from that 10,000 joule, only 10% energy, that means 1,000 joule, will pass to them. Okay, then when primary consumer will be eaten by the secondary consumer, the same thing will be repeated, means the 10% of 1,000 joule, that is 100 joule, will be available with your secondary consumers. Are you getting my point or not? Okay, so in this way, from the previous trophic level to the next trophic level, only 10% law is 10% energy is passed. This is known as 10% rule. Okay, and this rule is proposed by one ecologist known as Lindemann. Okay guys, then you see here, this is one pyramid like structure, isn't it? This is one pyramid like structure. So this pyramid is known as energy pyramid. Energy pyramid means when we will show graphically, okay, about the all energy available with the previous or trophic level, with each trophic level. When we will express it in graph, it is called as energy pyramid. Okay, so energy pyramid is always upright. Upright means the lower one will be bigger one, see here, and the upper one will be smaller one. Okay, this type of structure is known as upright. When it will be in reverse way, means smaller will be in the lower and bigger this will be in the upper, that type of pyramid is known as inverted type of pyramid. But your energy pyramid will be always upright. Okay, so then come to next, it is I have already explained you regarding rule of 10 proposed by Lindemann. Okay, see here. If you have any doubt, then it will be clear here. Then energy pyramid shows relative amount of energy available at each trophic level. So rule of 10 means only about 10% of the available energy within a trophic level is transferred to the next higher trophic level. Okay. So see here, this is again the energy pyramid. This is known as upright pyramid, means energy with producer is always greater than the energy available with the primary consumer, and is greater than the energy available with the secondary consumer, and is greater than the energy available with the tertiary consumer. Okay. So this is known as 10% law. So energy flow obeys the laws of thermodynamics. Okay. Then what the law of thermodynamics tells? It is one science term. So thermodynamics is a part of your physics. You perhaps have knowledge regarding this in your +2 level. Thermodynamics has different laws. So what first law of thermodynamics and second law of thermodynamics. So what these laws tells? So first law of thermodynamics tells that energy neither can be created nor destroyed, but it can be converted from one form to another. And energy for an ecosystem comes from the sun, and it is absorbed by plants and it is converted into chemical energy. This chemical energy utilized by consumers and transform into heat. Okay, this is all about your first law. What second law proposes? Second law tells that whenever energy is transformed, there is a loss of energy through the release of heat. Okay. So always in between the process, you have respiration, you have other activities. So some amount of energy is lost in the form of heat. So energy is transferred between trophic levels in the form of heat as it moves from one trophic level to another trophic level. Okay. Another trophic level. Okay. So the loss of energy takes place through respiration, work, running, hunting, etc. Okay guys. So these are all about your energy and energy flow in the ecosystem. I think that all of your doubts may be cleared and you are very well understood this chapter. Okay. So if you have any further doubt, please be free to ask me in your comment. I will always free to answer your queries. Okay. Thank you. We will meet in our next video. That will be on your biogeochemical cycle. Okay. Thank you.